Lu Sheng woke up in a panic from a nightmare, only to be met with a stern reprimand from his teacher about his lack of preparation for upcoming college entrance exams. Despite his teacher's harsh words, Lu Sheng felt exhausted, still grappling with the same haunting dream he had experienced for 3 days, wandering in a desolate, half-destroyed landscape filled with monsters. This lack of restful sleep caused a noticeable decline in his blood qi levels, leaving him drained and irritable. After school, he declined an invitation from his friend Liu Chaimin to hang out at an internet cafe, preferring to go home and rest. As he walked through the bustling streets filled with classmates, Lu Sheng reflected on his life in this new world, where martial arts and monsters existed, a stark contrast to his previous life that felt increasingly distant. He longed for the peace of his former life. Upon returning home, Lu Sheng found his father, Lu Hai, resting on the couch and his mother, Zheng Yufen, taking care of him. Noticing his father's patched-up back, Lu Sheng felt a pang of concern and offered to buy a healing device to aid his father's recovery. However, Lu Hai dismissed the offer, worrying instead about Lu Sheng's declining blood qi levels. As Lu Sheng retreated to his room, he felt a tightening in his chest, knowing that revealing his poor health to his father would only lead to anger and disappointment. Lu Sheng sighed with relief as he closed the door to his room, finding solace in his solitude. His small space, equipped with a yoga mat, weights, and other training gear, served as both his martial arts training area and retreat. Determined to restore his blood qi levels, which had declined due to persistent nightmares, he focused on rigorous training, believing that his age should facilitate improvement in his health. After completing his exercises, Lu Sheng felt invigorated, but couldn't shake off the recurring nightmares. When he awoke within the dream, he felt trapped, unable to escape the horrifying reality. Suddenly, a strange sound pierced through the silence, and Lu Sheng saw a tall, grim figure emerging from the gray mist. The figure resembled a zombie, with a gaunt face, sunken eye sockets, and tattered clothing reminiscent of the Superguts team, covered in dirt and grime. As fear gripped him, he realized he was once again confronting the terrifying elements of his dreams. The thought of whether to run or confront the zombie flooded Lu Sheng's mind. In the past, he had always chosen flight, escaping the slow-moving zombies in his dreams until he woke up in his bed. This time, however, he resolved to stand his ground. "No more running," he declared, rolling up his sleeves. He reassured himself that it was just a dream, and even if he got bitten, it wouldn't really matter. As he launched his attack, he called out a move he had read about in a novel, delivering a powerful kick that sent the zombie staggering backward. Buoyed by his success, he followed up with punches to the zombie's face, but his hands hurt painfully upon impact. Looking for a weapon, he spotted a large rock nearby and grabbed it, intending to strike the zombie's head, its apparent weak spot. With a forceful throw, he smashed the rock into the zombie's face, ensuring its defeat. Breathing heavily, he marveled at the vividness of this dream, feeling his heart race. However, as the zombie disintegrated into sand, black smoke began to swirl around him and shot toward Lu Sheng, engulfing him. Suddenly, he was flooded with memories resembling scenes from a disaster film, visions of a young, handsome teenager training rigorously and fighting against monsters. The stark contrast between monotonous training and intense battles filled his mind, revealing the gruesome deaths of companions in a world shrouded in despair and darkness. As the chaotic images settled, Lu Sheng realized these memories belonged to the zombie he had just defeated. The intense experience left him pondering the hardships the teenager had faced before his demise. Soon he encountered more zombies, notably one in a yellow helmet, which appeared more formidable than the previous one. This time, he charged at the zombie without fear. As he struck, Lu Sheng was astonished by his newfound strength and precision. He realized that he had instinctively executed moves as if he had performed them countless times before. He speculated that he had absorbed the fighting skills and memories of the deceased zombie, a former fighter from base 1359. This revelation excited him, and he began to view the dream as a unique opportunity to gain experience. Upon defeating this enemy, Lu Sheng absorbed chaotic memories filled with despair, indicating the zombie's troubled past. He gained skills in spear handling, but was perplexed by the disjointed nature of the memories. As he prepared to explore further, loud knocking jolted him awake. He opened his eyes to find himself back in reality, hearing a clear female voice from outside his room announcing that dinner was ready. Lu Sheng was jolted from his thoughts by his sister Lu Sheng calling him for dinner. He could imagine her impatient expression, as she often viewed him with disdain. While she excelled in her studies and martial abilities, Lu Sheng struggled academically, leaving him feeling overshadowed by her achievements. After responding to her, he shook off the remnants of a nightmare and felt surprisingly invigorated. Reflecting on his dream, he realized he retained the combat techniques and skills absorbed from the zombies. He even sensed a slight increase in his physical strength, which suggested a potential rise in his chi blood levels. Eager to confirm his theory, he decided to eat first before heading to a martial arts training center for a physical assessment. At dinner, Lu Sheng devoured rice as if he hadn't eaten in days, drawing strange looks from his family. When he asked for more, his father, Lu Hai, insisted he keep eating, noting that it was a good time for Lu Sheng to enhance his chi blood levels. Despite feeling slightly out of place at the dinner table, Lu Sheng couldn't help but hope his chi levels had indeed increased. After finishing several plates of rice and more meat dishes, he bid farewell to his family, excited to test his newfound abilities. Lu Sheng arrived at the Hongchuan Martial Arts Academy, a modest establishment led by Master Ni Hongchuan, a skilled martial artist. While he was impressed by the academy's reputation, he felt discouraged by the high tuition fees, knowing that only wealthy families could afford such training. Despite this, Lu Sheng had his own unique approach to improving his abilities, absorbing the skills and experiences of zombies in his dreams. He entered the academy to test his chi blood levels and combat power index instead of enrolling in classes. The friendly receptionist guided him to the testing room where he took a blood sample. To his delight, his chi blood level had increased to 0.963, a notable rise attributed to his dream experiences. This revelation filled him with hope for his martial arts journey. Next, he tested his combat power index using a larger machine. Following the techniques he remembered from the zombies, he delivered a powerful punch. The machine registered a score of 113, surpassing the standard combat power index for martial arts students. Encouraged by his progress, Lu Sheng realized that with continued effort, he could gain admission to a decent martial arts university in the near future. Lu Sheng was determined to become a true level 1 martial arts master. After his recent tests, he rushed home, eager to explore the dream world that had helped him improve his abilities. However, he found himself unable to sleep, prompting him to do some exercise to tire himself out. He began practicing the 24 forms of body cleansing, a routine he had perfected over 7 years. To his surprise, he realized he was unconsciously performing a different set of exercises, one that he had absorbed from the memories of the zombies he had encountered in his dreams. Intrigued, Lu Sheng decided to try out these unfamiliar techniques, discovering that they were much more complex, consisting of over 200 forms. As he executed the movements, he experienced a wave of warmth and pleasure, reminiscent of the first time he had practiced the body cleansing technique. As he continued, Lu Sheng felt a surge of energy coursing through him, and after completing the exercises, he collapsed onto his yoga mat, exhilarated by the intensity of the workout. The workout had awakened a deep hunger within him, signaling that his chi blood level had risen once again. Astonished by his rapid improvement, he realized that if word got out, he would be hailed as a martial arts prodigy. Lu Sheng recognized that his recent progress was not due to innate talent, but rather the effects of the body refinement technique he had practiced. The results he achieved in a single session surpassed what he had accomplished over years, demonstrating that this technique was significantly more effective than the 24 forms he typically practiced. In the locker room, Lu Sheng and Liu Qimin changed into their martial arts uniforms. Lu Sheng, having lost some weight, displayed a muscular physique that had become more defined due to rapid chi blood level growth, despite his limited food intake. He also noticed he had grown taller, reaching nearly 180 centimeters, making his uniform feel snug. Entering the spacious martial arts hall, they found a place among their peers. The instructor, Zhong Zhengguo, a level 2 martial arts master with a noticeable scar on his arm, began discussing fighting techniques. While Lu Sheng felt that the techniques taught were simple and lacked depth compared to what he had learned in his dreams, he observed his classmate, Yang Yifei, who was favored by the instructor and popular among students, especially the girls. Liu Qimin expressed frustration about Yang Yifei's advantages, wishing for similar support. Meanwhile, Lu Sheng's thoughts wandered to the scholarship he hoped to discuss with the teacher. Zhong Zhengguo announced a sparring session, seeking volunteers to partner with Yang Yifei. The students hesitated to step forward, fearing the sparring match. Disappointed by their lack of initiative, Zhang Zhengguo scanned the crowd until his gaze landed on Lu Sheng, who met his eyes unflinchingly. To everyone's surprise, the instructor called Lu Sheng to spar with young Yifei, prompting Lu Sheng to snap back to attention, realizing he was now in the spotlight. As the sparring match was announced, Lu Sheng sensed the eager anticipation from his classmates, including Liu Qimin, who regarded the situation with a meaningful glance. Despite feeling unfortunate to be chosen as a sparring partner, Lu Sheng approached the center of the mat confidently, reminding himself of past experiences. Zhang Zhengguo, the instructor, was momentarily struck by Lu Sheng's aura, which resembled that of a fierce tiger. After a brief exchange, Lu Sheng disclosed his qi blood level of 0.802, which prompted a skeptical response from Zhang Zhengguo. However, the instructor proceeded to assign him to spar with young Yifei, a well-regarded student with a qi blood level of 1.22. As the match began, young Yifei confidently warned Lu Sheng of his strength. The crowd was eager to cheer for Yang, while Liu Qimin observed from the sidelines. In an instant, Yang charged at Lu Sheng, but within seconds, the unexpected happened. Lu Sheng effortlessly sent Yang flying across the mat. The arena fell silent as students were stunned, unable to comprehend that Lu Sheng had defeated the school's top contender in a single move. Even Zhang Zhengguo was shocked, quickly ordering assistance for Yang, who lay on the ground in pain. Lu Sheng attempted to explain that his victory was unintentional and a result of instinct rather than defiance of the instructor's teachings. However, Zhang Zhengguo dismissed him, taking Lu Sheng aside for a private conversation. Meanwhile, the rest of the class erupted in speculation, with disbelief and curiosity surrounding Lu Sheng's surprising strength, while Liu Qimin watched in shock, unable to fathom the turn of events.